the seventh day of creation. 6 days for labor, the seventh we seize, a foreshadow of the kingdom where joy will increase. The gates will open when that day arrives. Eternal Shabbat, where forever we thrive. God, the Shabbat, Kodesh the day. No work, no business, cast burdens away. No buying, no selling, no worldly ways. The covenant is true. To Yahuwah we pray. From sunrise to sunset, a sign forever. For Yasharol, this day is a treasure. The Navi warned, do not turn away. The Shabbat is Kadash, keep it Yahuwah's way. Yahusha King, the Adon of rest, showed us the path that is pure and best. From one Shabbat to another we'll sing in the city of light with our eternal King. No toil, no tears, no shadow, no fight, only the joy of his endless life. God, the Shabbat,
Yes.
Kadash the day.
Kodesh the day.
No work, no business, cast burdens away. No buying, no selling, and no worldly ways. The covenant is true. To Yahuwah we pray. From sunrise to sunset, a sign forever. For Yasharol, this day is a treasure. This day is the pledge of the world to come, when the reign of Yahuwah has fully begun. The river will flow, the tree will stand, life everlasting in the promised land. Every voice will rise, every knee will bend in the Shabbat of Yahuwah that will never end. We wait for the trumpet, we keep the sign, our hearts in rhythm with Yahuwah's design. We guard this day till the kingdom appears, the eternal Shabbat through unending years. In all this, his love fully shown, Yahuwah's rest will be our home. God, the Shabbat, Kodesh the day. No work, no business, cast burdens away. No buying, no selling, no worldly ways. The covenant is true. To Yahuwah we pray. From sunrise to sunset, a sign forever. For Yasharol, this day is a treasure.
Hallelujah, Mishpachah. I am Mark Jimmy, also known as Brother Jimmy, and we are the ambassadors of Yah. For this is the day that Yahuwah has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Yes, hallelujah, Yahuwah. Now, for those of you who are able-bodied, if you're able to get up, we're going to stand. We're going to face towards the eternal city of the eternal King, Jerusalem. And we are going to blow the shofar. If you have a shofar, please do blow it on this Yom. As we are in this week of unleavened bread, this is the Shabbat that literally smack dab in the middle of the week. Hallelujah, Yahuwah. That is not by accident. We're going to be talking about that today in our conversation as we are studying on this Shabbat. So without further ado, let's stand. And let's face towards the northeast for those of us who are here in the United Snakes of America. Heavenly Abba Yahuwah, we come before you on this Yom, on this Shabbat, giving you all praise, honor, and esteem, O Abba. Tuda Ata, O Abba, thank you, O Yah, for allowing us to come together, allowing us to be part of this wonderful, momentous time and occasion, O Abba, during this time of the festival of the springtime, O Yah. Abba, we ask that you would settle our hearts and our minds as we allow your spirit to teach us and guide us into all truth, O Yah. Abba, we know that the days are short and the time is coming when you're going to crack that sky. Abba, we ask that you would help us to be mindful, to self-reflect inwardly of what we are doing as we're walking out this walk of our amunah, of our faith. Abba, we ask that you forgive us for all of our transgressions that we have committed before your sight, not only of ours, O Abba, but also of our ancestors who came before us, those who have caused us to be in these lands of our captivities, O Abba. Help us to open up our eyes, and those that you will send in today into this live cast, so that their eyes too may be open to this truth. For Abba, you said that you know who are yours. You have placed your name upon us, your people, Yasharah. Abba, we ask that you go before us on this Yom. We also pray for our family and our friends and our co-workers, O Abba. Help us to diligently search you, O Yah. Help us to look into your word so that we may learn of your ways, O Abba. May we not do those things that are only to our understanding, O Yah, but that we would yield to you, that we would yield our hearts to you, that you would talk to us, O Abba. Visit us in dreams and visions, O Yah, in these last days as you have promised, O Abba, that you would do for those who diligently seek you. And so at this moment, we ask that you would be amongst us, for you say that you are amongst us where there are 2 or 3 gathered, O Yah, in your name. May you teach us and guide us into all truth on this Yom. It's in the mighty name of your Ben Yahushua HaMashiach we pray. Hallelujah, Hallelujah, and Hallelujah, Amat. Rumamu Yahuwah. All right. It is so wonderful to see all of you here on this momentous occasion. You know, for the rest of the world who don't understand this truth, they may be looking at this and saying, these guys are saying that the Sabbath is on this day, on this MON day? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Let us go ahead and do our reading of the Torah portion, of the Nabaim portion, and the Katubim portion. For those of you who don't understand what I just said, we are going to read from the law, which is the Torah. We're going to read from the Nabaim, which is the prophets. And we're going to read from the Katubim, which is the writings that includes the New Testament, also known as the Brit HaKadash. So with that being said, let me pull this up. I want to thank my Aki Petitiyahu for this new stand that I have, this beautiful wooden stand. Ah, yes. And it's movable. Oh, yeah, I love it. I love it. Tudata Aki. So let us go to Shamot, also known as Exodus. And we are going to go to chapter 31. Let me bring this down. Verse 12. And it reads, let me blow this up just a little bit here. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, that is Moses, saying, and you shall speak to the children of Yasharal, saying, my Sabbaths you are to guard, you are to keep by all means, for it is a sign between me and you, that is the children of Yasharal. Throughout your generations, meaning throughout your lineage, to know that I, Yahuwah, am setting you apart, setting us apart from the world. And you shall guard or keep the Sabbath, for it is set apart to you. It is Kadash to you. Everyone who profanes it shall certainly be put to death. For anyone who does work on it, that being shall be cut off from among their people. 6 days work is done, And on the seventh is a Shabbat of rest, set apart Kadash to Yahuwah. Everyone doing work on the Shabbat day shall certainly be put to death. And the children of Yasharal shall guard the Shabbat, to perform the Shabbat throughout their generations as an everlasting agreement. That word there is everlasting. It means exactly what it says. Verse 17, between me, that is Yahuwah, and the children of Yasharal, it is a sign forever. For 6 days Yahuwah made the Shamaim, that is the heavens, and the Arats, the earth. And on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. Hallelujah. Yahuwah. Now let's go to the Nabaim portion. We're going to go to Yashayahu, also known as Isaiah, chapter 58. Verse 13. If you do turn back your foot from the Shabbat, from doing your pleasure on my Kadash day, my set-apart day, and shall call the Shabbat a delight, the set-apart day to Yahuwah, esteemed and shall esteem it, not doing your own ways, nor finding your own pleasure, nor speaking your own words. Those three things are very key, Mishpachah family. Again, not doing your own ways, that's number one, nor your own pleasure, that's number two, nor speaking your own words, that's number three. Then you shall delight yourself in Yahuwah. And I, Yahuwah says, shall cause you to ride on the heights of the Arats, the earth, and feed you with the inheritance of Jacob, that is Jacob, your father. For the mouth of Yahuwah has spoken. Hallelujah. Yahuwah. Now let's go to the Katubim, also known as the writings. We're going to go to Matityahu. And we are going to go to, where is it here? Chapter 18 of Matthew. And at that time, the taught ones came to Yahusha, that is the name of the Messiah, Yahusha, I am his salvation, saying, who then is greatest in the reign of the Shamaim? And Yahusha called a little child to him, set him in their midst, and said, truly, Amat, I say to you, unless you turn and become as little children. Let me read that part again. Truly I say to you, unless you turn and become as little children, you shall by no means enter into the reign, the kingdom of the Shamaim, the heavens. Whoever then humbles himself as this little child is the greatest in the reign of the Shamaim, the heavens. And whoever receives one little child like this in my name receives me. But whoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to stumble, it is better for him that a millstone be hung around his neck and that he be drowned in the depths of the sea. Woe to the world because of stumbling blocks, for it is necessary that stumbling blocks come. But woe to that one by whom the stumbling blocks come. And if your hand or foot causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it away from you. It is better for you to enter into life lame or crippled, rather than having 2 hands or 2 feet to be thrown into the everlasting fire, that is, the lake of fire. And if your eye causes you to stumble, pluck it out and throw it away from you. It is better for you to enter into life with 1 eye rather than having 2 eyes to be thrown into the fire of Gehenna, again, the lake of fire. See that you do not despise one of these little ones. For I say to you that in the Shamaim, in the heavens, their messengers, their Malakim, their angels always see the face of my Abba, my Father, who is in the Shamaim, in the heavens. For the image of Adam has come to save what was lost. What do you think? If a man has 100 sheep and one of them goes astray, would he not leave the 99 of the mountains on the mountains, going to seek the one that is straying? And if he should find it, truly I say to you, he rejoices more over that sheep than over the 99 that did not go astray. Thus it is not the desire or the will of your Father who is in the Shamaim in the heavens that one of these little ones should be lost. But if your brother transgresses against you, go and convict him between you and him alone. If he hears you, you have gained your brother, your YAH. But if he does not hear, take with you one or two more, that by the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word might be established. This is from Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 15. And if he still refuses to hear them, say it to the assembly, say it to the congregation. And if he refuses even to hear the congregation, the assembly, let him be to you like a goyim, the nations, and a tax collector. Amat, or truly I say to you, whatever you bind on the arats, on the earth, shall having been bound in the Shama, in the heaven, and whatever you loose on the earth, on the arats, shall having been loosened in the Shama, in the heaven. Again, I say to you that if 2 of you agree on the arats concerning any matter, notice this, concerning any matter that they ask, it shall be done for them by my Father in the Shamaim, in the heavens. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there I am in their midst. Then Kappa, that is Peter, came to him and said, Master, how often shall my brother transgress against me, and I forgive him? Up to 7 times? And Yahusha said to him, I do not say to you up to 7 times, but up to 70 times 7. We're going to come back to this. Verse 22. Because of this, the reign of the Shamaim, the heavens, is like a certain man, a sovereign, a king, who wanted to settle accounts with his servants. And when he had begun to settle, one was brought to him who owed him 10,000 talents. But as he was unable to pay, his master commanded that he be sold, with his wife and children and all that he had, and payment to be made. Then the servant fell down before him, saying, Master, have patience with me, and I shall pay you all. And the master of that servant was moved with compassion, released him, and forgave him the debt. He didn't have to repay. And that servant went out and found one of his fellow servants who owed him 100 denarii. And he laid hands on him and took him by the throat, saying, Pay me what you owe. Then his fellow servant fell down at his feet and begged him, saying, Have patience with me, and I shall pay you all. But he would not, and went and threw him into prison till he should pay the debt. And when his fellow servants saw what he had done, they were deeply grieved, and came and reported that to the master, that all that had taken place. Then his master came to him and said to him, You wicked servant, I forgave you of all the debt, seeing you begged me. Should you not have also have been compassion, or had compassion on your fellow servant, as I also had compassion on you? And his master was angry, and delivered him to the torturers, until he should pay all that was due to him. And so also my heavenly Abba shall do to you, if each of you, from his heart, notice that, from your heart, does not forgive his brother his trespasses. Hallelujah. What does it mean to forgive? As all of us who are walking this walk of the Nazarene belief, the Nazarene Amunah, Mishpaka, this is one of the most key foundational teachings to our walk. You all have heard what the Mashiach says in Matthew, in Matityahu about when the disciples had asked, how shall we pray? How shall we palal? And the Mashiach says, you shall palal this way. In one of those passages, he says, forgive us our debts, or forgive us our trespasses, or forgive us our sins, whichever word you want to use, as we forgive those who transgressed against us, who sinned against us. This is a foundational teaching that all of us need to examine ourselves during this time of unleavened week. Do you have someone that you have not forgiven? Maybe you can't reach them. That's okay. But see, notice what it says here again in verse 35. So also my heavenly Abba shall do to you if each of you from his heart does not forgive his brother his trespasses. Does it say there that you have to go and tell your brother what they have done? If you have the opportunity, yes, like we read earlier. But if you don't, you still need to forgive from your heart. We always talk about heart posture, your heart condition, what is truly in your heart. Our heart says a lot. Our heart shows who we truly are. It's our heart condition that lets us know if we are truly forgiven of our transgressions. Did you know that? For him to forgive us, we must forgive others, be it our family, our mother, our father, our brothers, our sisters, those of the faith of this Amunah as well, our friends, our co-workers, even our enemies, to be able to forgive them. That little seed of unforgiveness can keep you from having everlasting life. Did you know this? You see how he says here, verse 33, should you not also have had compassion on your fellow servant, as I also had compassion on you? Isn't this what we palal for? Forgive us our transgressions as we forgive others that have transgressed against us. And his master was angry with him. Do you want our master, the creator of heaven and earth, to be angry with you and deliver you to the torturers? To those angels who have been given the mission to throw you into the lake of fire? Some of us, we only say we forgive someone, but not from the heart. Not from the heart. This is a very scary thing, because some of us right now who are hearing my voice, some of you are in that same predicament with your walk. Like I said yesterday, we can have all the knowledge we want. We can have all the understanding of the parables that we want. But if we don't apply these things, Mishpachah, what does it mean? What does it mean? The Messiah himself says that what? We confess him with our mouth, right? But our heart is far from him. His heart, just like he said here, he moved with compassion upon that man. Where does it say that here? And the master of that servant, verse 27, was moved with compassion, released him, and forgave him the debt. This debt is he forgave him those transgressions of breaking the Torah, the law. The Messiah forgave us. How come we can't forgive one another? What did it say here? And I shared this before, and some of you who are new to this channel, you probably heard this, and I'm going to tell you what you all think. Check this out. I'm going to ask you this question after I read this. Verse 21, then Kappa came to him and said, Master, how often shall my brother transgress against me and I have to forgive him? as I ad-lib there. Do I forgive him up to seven times? Do I forgive him up to 7 times? Yahusha said to him, I do not say to you up to 7 times, but up to 70 times 7. Now let me ask you, what does that mean? Let me see it in the comments. What does that mean? Now we're going to see some Christian doctrine come out because we've all have been indoctrinated. What does he mean by 70 times 7? Yep. Simone, you said exactly what we've been taught. Yah's chosen, can't count. Stella, you said unconditional. Over and over again, right? Lachey, you are onto something. Lachey, you are onto something. She said, that's 490 times forgiveness? I see someone brings up Jubilee. Let's go here. Let's go to the book of Daniel. Let's see what this 70 times 7 is talking about. Let's see what it means. All right. Daniel chapter 9. I'm going to start from verse 2. I, Daniel, observed from the scriptures. What is he talking about? He's talking about observing before his writing. What is the scriptures to Daniel? The Torah, Genesis to Deuteronomy. The number of the years according to the word, and then he goes in, of Yahuwah given to Yirmiyahu the prophet, Jeremiah the Nabi. So now Daniel, we see here, had access to the scroll of Jeremiah. And he goes on in here and says, so I set my face toward Yahuwah, the mighty one, to seek by palau and supplication with zoom or fasting and sackcloth and ashes. But notice what he says, for the completion of the waste of Yahushalom would be 70 years. Right? Now, if we go down a little bit, once I can find it, so he starts palauling. And so he goes here in verse 20, Daniel was palauling, and it says, and while I was speaking and palauling, and confessing my sin and the sin of my people, Yasharal, and presenting my supplication before Yahuwah, my mighty one, for the set apart mountain of my Alua Alahim, while I was still speaking in Palau, the man or the one, Gabriel, this is the messenger, the angel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, came close to me in swift flight about the time of the Arab offering or the Arab Palau. This is why we know to also pray around this time. And he made me understand and talked with me and said, O Daniel, I have now come forth to make you wise concerning understanding. At the beginning of your supplications, a word went out, and I have come to make it known, for you are greatly appreciated. So consider the word and understand the vision. 70 weeks are decreed for your people. Notice the word 70. 70, the word weeks here is 7. 70 sevens are decreed for your people and for your set-apart city, that is Yahushalom, to put an end to the transgression, that is sinning, and to seal up the sins and to cover up crookedness. All of this has to do with the same thing: transgression, sins, crookedness, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, and to seal up vision and prophet, and to anoint the most high or set apart. Now, what did I ask you earlier? Let's look at this. What did it say here again? Kappa asked a question. How often shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? Up to up to 7 times? Yahusha said to him, I do not say to you up to 7 times, but up to 70 times 7. Or another way of saying, but up to 70 weeks. 7 times 7. It's the same thing you see here. "70 weeks, 70 times 7. A week is 7, just like we call a week. What is a week on our calendar? 7 days. Same thing here, Shabuah in the Hebrew. 70 times 7 are decreed for your people, for your set apart city, to put an end to transgression, to seal up the sin, to cover crookedness. What is all of this? This is forgiveness. He is what? Putting an end to transgression. That means that you and I can no longer sin. We can't transgress the law. And to seal up the sins, meaning that he has wiped away the sin. He has forgiven our debt. And to cover crookedness, how does he cover it? By the blood of the Mashiach. He is the Passover lamb. We are in this week right now. And so what the Messiah was saying, he was not saying it's eternal forgiveness, because if there was eternal forgiveness, and if that's what it meant, then he would forgive us no matter what we're always doing, and that there's no end to what we're doing. We might as well go ahead and live it up. Sin all you want. Transgress the law all you want, because at the end you're going to be saved, right? Wrong. There is a limitation to breaking the law. There is a time of expiration when you're breaking the law. And he's telling us he's only going to put up with the transgression of breaking his law 70 times 7. You see how we find it in the old and in the new? The Messiah was speaking in parables in the new, but only for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, to be able to understand where this is coming from. Remember, the Messiah is the Word manifested. He gave this to Gabriel to reveal it to Daniel. 70 weeks are decreed, for your people. Notice he says, for your people. This isn't for the Gentiles. And when I say this isn't for the Gentiles, you know what I'm talking about. We're talking about the people who don't believe, those who are native born and those who have been grafted in. Who are his people? What did the Messiah say? Who is my brother? Who is my sister? Who is my mother? Except for those who do the will of my Father. Stop looking at the paint job, people. The paint job, yes, we know who true Yasharal is. The paint job does matter when it comes to that. So you understand the historical record of who it was and why it was these things have transpired upon this earth. But when it comes to those who believe in this truth, your paint job don't matter. You are just as susceptible to the lake of fire as the goy, as the heathen. If you don't believe what is written in this book, just like the Messiah says, if you don't believe that I am he, you shall what? What did he say? Let me see it in the comments. What did he say? If you do not believe that I am he, what did he say is going to happen? What did he say? Let me see it in the comments. I know somebody knows this. Come on now. Yes, perish. Yes, cut off. He says, you shall die in your sin. You shall die in your sin. And so this is why it's so important to understand prophecy. Prophecy is key to understanding this great news, because there is a limit that Yahuwah has put on his people, that you are not going to continue to sin against me. Just like what Kepa says, how many times do I forgive my brother? Up to 7 times? And the Messiah says, I do not tell you up to 7 times, but up to 70 times 7. He was speaking in code. This is why in the book of Daniel, notice what it says here in chapter 12. You see, because this was going to happen, it was about to be fulfilled. Verse 4, Daniel chapter 12, verse 4. But you, Daniel, hide the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Many shall diligently search, and knowledge shall increase. I was just talking to my uncle earlier today, and he brought up this passage to me. He says, look what's going on right now. Knowledge is increasing. I said, yes, uncle, it sure is. The knowledge of his word is increasing. You see, sometimes we think because we hear the same stuff that has been told to us through Christianity. I want you to listen, Mishpachah. Just like I was saying, we're going to be bringing out Christian doctrine that some of us still have that understanding. When I ask you the question, what did the Messiah mean when he says that we are to forgive our brother 70 up to 70 times 7? And you all showed exactly what I was saying, that we've all been taught by Christian understanding, by Christian doctrine, that means it was unlimited. No, it's not. 70 times 7 has a limitation. Because if that was the case, then he would have just said forever, unlimited. You are to forgive your brother limitlessly. He didn't say that. He gave a specific number. He gave a specific number. And that specific number is 70 times 7. And all of you know how to do your multiplications. 7 times 7 is what? 49. Add a 0, 490. 490. The Great Tribulation is 3.5 years of a 7-year period. The last week. Some people call it the 70th week of Daniel. How many of you have ever heard that terminology before? The 70th week of Daniel. Let me see it in the comments. How many of you have heard of the 70th week of Daniel? A lot of you haven't. Some of you have. Yes. Great to see you, Aki Tim. That 70th week of Daniel is the last 7 years. It's the last 7 years. And some of you already know from what we've been talking about, we are already starting to enter into that time. You see, Christianity has taught us that there's this 7-year peace treaty. Let me show you what it says. Let me show you what it says. Let me not just bring it out. Let me show you what it says. Look at this here. This is chapter 9 of Daniel, verse firm to make solid many for 1 week. And in the middle of the week, or in the middle of, shall put an end to slaughtering and meal offering, and on the week he shall lay waste even until the complete end. And that is poured out on the one who lays waste. Now, what I just read, did you hear anything about a 7-year peace treaty? Did you look at it? Do you see anywhere here where it talks about a 7-year peace treaty? Yes or no? Exactly, right? It's glitching. It looks pixelated. Oh boy, here we go. Let's see what they're doing now. Hold on, let me check my, oh, I'm connected. Super blurry. Yeah, they don't like me talking about this. They want to cause issues. Hold on 1 second. Let's see if we can get this to come back. How's it look now? Does it look better now? It still looks bad, huh? Wow. Boy, I tell you, this is how it works on some of these days, right? Let me see if I can fix it on my end, Mishpachah. Let me see. It's getting better. Okay, great. Hopefully it stays that way. Praise Abba Yahuwah. If it doesn't, let me know. Let me know if it goes out, and we're going to try some stuff. Okay, it looks fine. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Aki Chris. So now, again, I'm going to ask you guys the same thing. Okay, does it still look clear? Everything looks okay? Yes? Do you see anywhere here in verse 27 where it says that there is a 7-year peace treaty? We don't see nothing here that says 7-year peace treaty. It says he shall confirm an agreement with many for 1 week. But Christianity has been teaching us through their eschatological teachings, their end time studies, that there is going to be a 7-week tribulation period that they call, well, he's going to make a 7-year peace treaty. That's nowhere in the book. So what is that is going to happen, this agreement with many for 1 week? It doesn't say that we are to know it. It doesn't say that there's going to be something on CNN that says, oh, this man just made a treaty with the world for 7 years. It doesn't speak of that. The world is not going to have a clue what is going on. The only way you're going to know that we have entered into that 7-year period is by what has been told to us in scripture. These are the signs. This is why I told you guys yesterday, when the Messiah says you are to watch and pray, you best to believe you better be watching and praying. Look, let's go to Mark chapter 13. While it's on my mind, let's go to Mark 13. I believe that's where it is. Okay, let's read this. Verse 32, chapter 13, verse 32. But concerning that day and hour, no one knows, not even the messengers in heaven, nor the Son. This right here has been added, and I'll show you, but only the Father. Take heed, watch. Notice this word watch and palal, for you do not know when the time is. As a man going abroad, having left his house and giving authority to his servants and to each his work, and commanded the doorkeeper to watch. Do you not understand that we as the Nazarene are the doorkeepers? We are the watchmen. When they say the watchmen, the Nazarene, that means we're the doorkeepers. We're the one who's holding the door to see, hold on, we're cracking the door, we're looking out to see if the enemy's out there. Notice the word again, watch therefore, for you do not know when the master of the house is coming. In the Arab, in the evening, or at midnight, or at the crowing of the cock, or that is the rooster, or in the bakor, lest coming suddenly he should find you sleeping, meaning that you have not awakened. You haven't awoke to this truth. And what I say to you, I say to all. This big word right here. Watch. Watch. So what are we watching for to understand these 7 last years? What are we watching for? We're watching for what he told us. Let's go to Matthew chapter 24, because it talks about this again in Matthew 24. Notice here. Verse 43. And know this, if the master of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched and not allowed his house to be broken into. Because of this, be ready too. For the son or the image of Adam is coming at an hour when you do not expect him. You do not expect him. So then, if you go back up here again, you look at this. What are we seeing? What are we seeing? Remember what we just read here in Mark, right? Mark chapter 13. What did it say here? Verse 32. But concerning that day and hour, no one knows, not even the messengers in heaven, nor the Son. Notice I said they added that. Remember, I told you Mark, Luke, and John were translated into the Greek. We can see the falsifying of the pens of the scribes here, like it says in Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 8. Matthew, the only one that we see of the 4 so-called basors, the great news, right? The so-called gospel accounts. Notice what it says here. Verse 36. But concerning that day and hour, no one knows, not even the messengers of heaven, but my Father only. Where does it say not even the Son? Because they want you to have a Trinitarian understanding. There's people that like to use Mark chapter 13 and say, look, well, then how come the Son doesn't know when that time is coming? Because they added it. You see here, it doesn't say nor the Son, but the Father only. No, it just goes on from not even the messengers of the Shamaim, but the Father only. Now, when you read this again in Mark, they changed the script. They changed the script. Verse 32, but concerning that day and hour, no one knows, not even the messengers in heaven, nor the Son, that was added, but only the Father. Why am I showing you this? Because you need to understand that Satan has plagiarized, and not only has he plagiarized, but he has changed the words. And it's for us, it's our due diligence, it's our duty to look into these words that has been given to us because of trickery, not only of Satan, but of men. Because they want to get you to understand their agenda. They want you to get you to understand their understanding. But Yahuwah will not allow us to be so because he's waking us up. He's waking us up to the lies of the pens of the scribes. And so what is it that we're supposed to be watching? This famous passage of what they call the Olivet Discourse. Verse 3 of chapter 24 of Matthew. And as he sat on the Mount of Olives, the taught ones came to him separately, saying, say to us, when shall this be? What shall be? When the Messiah said this in verse 2, truly I say to you, not one stone shall be left upon another at all that shall not be thrown down. We know this happened in 70 AD. It is historical record that Emperor Titus Flavius sent a whole legion of armies to Jerusalem to squash down the revolt that was going on amongst our people, the Yahudim. This is after our Messiah had ascended. And here they were trying to fulfill the vision that was written in Daniel and written in the book of Jeremiah about the 70 weeks. But the Messiah says, it's not going to happen that way. Some of your own people are going to try to fulfill this prophecy. That's what it says in the book of Daniel. Let me take you there. Let's go back to that passage. But they shall fail. Let me see if I can find it. Give me a second. It's been a minute since I looked into this passage. Verse 14. And in those times, many shall rise up against the sovereign of the south, or the king of the south, while some violent ones among your people, speaking about Daniel's people, talking about the Yahudim, they shall exalt themselves to establish the vision. What vision? What prophecy? But they shall stumble. They shall stumble. This is what they were trying to do. They were trying to revolt against the emperor and the empire of Rome. Because when the Messiah came, he didn't overthrow Rome. No, he came as that lamb who was supposed to give himself for us. They misunderstood the prophecy, just like many people are doing today in Christianity. They're thinking that they're going to get whisked away in this rapture. And many of us, to this very day, some of us probably still believe that. Some of you that's in here probably believe that very same thought. But unless you're one of the 144,000, you ain't escaping what's coming. You're going to live through it. This is why the Messiah says, he who endures to the end shall be saved. And in some passages, he says, even if you endure till death, then you shall be given a crown of life, as he says in the book of Revelation. So why is everybody trying to escape when the Messiah says that there's going to be 70 weeks appointed to his people? 77s. You see, he's only going to forgive humanity until those 490 years are up. There was a pause in the clock. We can read about that in Daniel. There was a pause in the clock from the time that the Messiah was taken from us until now. All of this is lining up with the 400 years that his people was going to be taken into captivity to a land that their forefathers didn't know. And they shall be sold there, and no one to take them from that place to set them free. And they shall be in this land, and they're going to serve their mighty ones that their captors are giving them, Christianity and Islam. And they shall worship them, these wood and stone, the rugged cross, the old wooden rugged cross, and the copper stone. And this is where we're finding ourselves right now as we are now entering into this last 7 years. We've been told so many lies in Christianity that some of us are still holding on to these things, but this is why he is opening our eyes to wake up. Stop following those lies, those traditions of men. They have given us false information. And now we have to deprogram to reprogram to understand the true program. Because the program has already been written in prophecy. So if you don't understand who the true people are, and you don't understand the true understanding of the periods that we are living in, then you won't understand, and you're going to think, oh, Master, how many times am I supposed to forgive my brother when he sins against me? 7 times? And then the master answers him and says, no, I tell you 70 times 7. And we think because of what we have been taught in Christendom that we are to forgive them limitlessly. The Messiah ain't going to forgive us limitlessly. This is why he gave him a definite number, 70 times 7. He was speaking of the book of Daniel. Why do we keep 7 days of unleavened bread? Because that 7 days of unleavened bread once again represents the 7,000 years that is going to happen. He says that his spirit, his ruach, shall not put up with man forever. He shall limit his days to 120 years. That's 120 Jubilee years. A Jubilee is a 50-year period. 120 times 50 gives you 6,000 years exactly. If a day is 1,000 years and 1,000 years is a day, he is telling you 6,000 years of human history shall be fulfilled, and then he's going to crack that sky and come back. We, my people, we are in that time. So you may say, well, how many times am I supposed to forgive my brother and my sister? He told you. He's going to forgive us for 490 years. And the expiration date is coming up. The expiration date is coming up. We are that generation. We are the generation that's going to see these things transpire before us. Let's go to Luke chapter 21. This is Lucas' account of the same Olivet discourse. Let me bring this down just a little bit. Verse 32. Oh, let me back up. Verse 28. Let me read this. Oh, no. Let's go back to verse 27. And then they shall see the Son of Adam coming in the cloud, verse 27, with power and much esteem. And when these matters begin to take place, notice what the Messiah says. When these matters begin to take place, look up, lift up your heads, because your redemption draws near. And he spoke a parable to them. Look at the fig tree and all the trees and all the trees. When they have already budded, observing it, you shall know for yourselves that summer is now near. So you also, when you see these matters take place, know that the reign of Yahuwah Elohim is near. Truly I say to you, this generation shall by no means pass away till all shall have taken place. The heaven and the earth shall pass away, but my words shall by no means pass away. And take heed to yourselves, lest your hearts be weighed down with gluttony and drunkenness and worries of this life, and that day come on you suddenly. For it shall come as a snare, as a trap, on all those dwelling on the face of all the arats, on all the earth. Here's that word again. Watch then at all times, and palal, that you be counted worthy, counted as one of the 144,000, worthy to escape all this that is about to take place and stand before the Son of Adam. So we see here, watching is very important. But while we're watching, we must do a self-evaluation of ourselves. Because again, what were we talking about? Forgiveness. Forgiveness. Mishpachah. The hour is near. The hour is near. Has anyone offended you? Has anyone caused you to have this little bit of root of bitterness in your heart that has caused you to go astray from the true teachings of the Messiah, of our Mashiach? He has told us that we need to forgive one another, just as he has forgiven us. He says, if you have not forgiven one another, then my Father in the Shamayim shall not forgive you. How many of you know this? I know all of you know this. How many of you know this? Let me see if you guys are listening right now. I want you guys to please be a part of this understanding and understanding that you do need to do this in your walk. Exactly. And let's keep this real. Let's keep it real. We know when somebody offends us, it never feels right. It'll mess you up. Your whole day is screwed up. It might mess you up for days. It might mess you up for weeks. It might mess you up for years. Because of something that happened in your past, you're still living it right now at this very present moment. What kind of amunah is that? What kind of faith is that? Seriously, look in yourself and ask yourself that question. Why do I still hold this grudge against this person? Or why can I not let this go, what they did to me? Or why can I not allow this to slip away from my mind? Why do I keep reliving this experience? I'll tell you why. Because you have not died to yourself. You're still that old person. You said you were immersed. You were immersed in his name, but you haven't really been born again. To truly be born again means that you are looking at things from the eyes of the Messiah. Are we going to mess up? Of course we're going to mess up, but we get back on that straight and narrow path. The righteous one does what? He falls down 7 times, but what does he do? He gets back up. We all must do the same. Let's go to Philippians, one of Shaul's letters. What does he say there in Philippians? Let me prop this side up. Give me a second. We're going to start at verse 3. We need to get a full context of what we're reading right here. What does it say here? For the rest, my brothers, rejoice in Yahuwah. To write the same matters to you is truly no trouble to me, and for you it is safe. Look out for dogs. Look out for the evil workers. Look out for the mutilation. For we are the circumcision who are serving Alua Alahim in the Ruach and boasting in the Messiah Yahusha and do not trust in the flesh. Notice what it says there. And do not trust in the flesh. How many of you are trusting in your flesh? I need to do this. I need to do that. I got to do this. I always got to be in control. Stop it. We got to loose the reins of that horse. We got to let it go. We got to let it go. Though I too might have trusted in the flesh, if anyone else thinks to trust in the flesh, I more so, is what the Apostle Shaul is saying. He goes, look, I was circumcised on the 8th day, of the race of Yasharal, of the tribe of Benjamin, Hebrew of the Hebrews, according to the Torah, a Pharisee. According to the adore, according to the zeal, persecuting the assembly, according to the righteousness that is in the Torah, in the law, having become blameless. But what might have been a gain to me, I have counted it as a loss because of the Messiah. What is more, I even count all to be lost because of the excellence of the knowledge of the Messiah Yahusha, my master, for whom I have suffered the loss of all, and count them as refuse in order to gain the Messiah. What is he saying? He says, I'm not putting my trust in anything that I can see. I'm not putting my trust in no man. I'm not putting my trust in no institution. I'm certainly not putting my trust in no religion. I'm not going to put my trust in no government. The only one that I'm going to put my trust in is in the Messiah. Verse 9, and be found in him, not having my own righteousness. Notice that, not having my own righteousness, that is of the law, but that is through belief in the Messiah, the righteousness that is from Alua Elohim on the basis of Amunah, belief. To know him and the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his sufferings, being conformed to his death. That's what happens every time one of us goes under that water. We are supposed to die to ourselves and be resurrected as a new person. Verse 11. Notice this. If somehow I might attain to the resurrection from the dead. Not that I have already received. Notice what he's saying. Not that I've already attained it or already been perfected. Shaul saying, I'm not perfect. I haven't been made perfect. None of us are perfect. We all have issues in our life. But I press on. You see, that's the key. Some of us don't want to press on. Some of us want to continue to look back. You see, look. He says, but I press on to lay hold of that, for the Messiah, Yahusha, has laid hold of me. Verse 13, hear this, brethren, mishpachah. I do not count myself to have laid hold of it yet, but only this, forgetting what is behind me, forgetting those who wronged us, forgetting those things that we have done wrong, forgetting the way we used to live our life, forgetting those things that has caused us to walk contrary to him, but reaching out for what lies ahead. That is our future, Mishpachah, our future. I press on towards the goal. Do you have a goal? Do you know what your goal is? Do you know what it is that you are supposed to be? I press on towards the goal for the prize of the high calling of Alua Elohim, the mighty of mighty ones, in the Messiah Yahusha. You see? You got to forget those things that are behind you. You got to forget those people who have wronged you. You have to forget those things that you have done in your past. Stop dwelling on the past. Someone did something wrong to you, forgive them from your heart. It's your heart posture. Forgive them. We have all wronged one another, even in this room. Even in this room, some of us have done things to one another. And let me say this, me personally, as an individual, if I have wronged any of you, know that I ask for your forgiveness. And if I have done anything to offend any of you, please bring it to me. Please bring it to me. I am not going to go bickering back and forth with you. When did I do that? How did I do that? What do you mean I said that? No, I'm going to accept it. I want to be in right standings, not only with my father, but with my mishpachah, because you're my family. You're my brothers and my sisters. We are eternal family. How can we not forgive one another? So we are to press on towards the goal for that prize of that high calling of Alua Alahim in the Messiah Yahusha. As many then as are perfect should have this mind. And if you think differently in any respect, Alua Alahim shall also reveal this to you. He will reveal it to you. Even those things that you didn't even think about. I know there's been some times that I have just went through something in my mind and I wasn't even thinking about this brother or this sister. And Yahuwah put in my heart and say, you know you offended that person. And I would have to check myself. Oh man, Abba, I didn't even know. I didn't even know until he brought it into my spirit. And I realized that I did something wrong. And usually when I notice it or I catch it, I try to go back to that person and say to them. But sometimes if that person's not available, I still have to do my part in my heart, in my mind, and say, I pray, I palau that that person forgives me. And I'm going to make sure that I walk differently than I did what I did to confuse that person or have or have caused any kind of problems in that person's life. I'm going to bring it before them if I can. But if not, my heart posture must be that. It must be that. And so it goes on and says this, verse 16, but to what we have already attained, walk by the same rule. Be of the same mind. Become joint imitators of me, brethren, and look at those who also walk, as you have us as for a pattern. For many of whom I have often told you, and now say to you, even weeping, they walk as enemies of the stake of the Messiah. And their end is going to be destruction. Their mighty one is their stomach, and their esteem is of their own, is going to be of their own shame. Their mind is on earthly matters. They're thinking of earthly things. They think about what they can attain in this life, but not us. No. I know this past week that those of us who came together for Pesach, we got to thinking to ourselves. Some of us were even talking about, you know what? I could care less about what I'm supposed to have in this world. I'm going to be content. Exactly. We are to be content in what we have, not wanting for things. We always want. Why do we want? Because we cannot seem to fulfill this appetite that we have for things of flesh, of so-called worldly value. This is not going to help you. It's not going to help you at all. Notice what it says in verse 20. For our citizenship is in the Shamayim. From that we are also eagerly to wait for the Savior, the Master Yahusha, the Messiah, who shall change our lowly bodies, these weak bodies that we have, to be conformed to his esteemed body, according to the working by that he is able even to bring all under his control. So we must learn how to forgive. We can't allow these things to come against us. Let me ask you all in the comments. Are you having trouble forgiving somebody? Let's be honest with ourselves. Let me see it in the comments. Yes and no. Are you having trouble forgiving some people? I hear you, Angel. I hear you, Greystone. Some of you say no, some of you said yes. For those of you who said no, Barak Yahuwah. He has given you eyes to see, and you know how to forgive. But for those of you, my mishpachah, who are having a hard time forgiving, this is what this week is about. Find it in yourself. When you take up that bread this evening, if it's evening where you are right now, and you partake of that unleavened, that matzah, examine yourself. because that's what we're supposed to do. We are to remove the leaven out of our life. Do you know why some of us have a hard time forgiving others? Because of ego, because of pride. Come on, somebody. It's because of ego and pride that makes it hard for us to forgive others, because you know what? We don't never want to be wrong. Right? Many of us don't want to be wrong. Oh, I didn't do nothing to you. Why are you taking it like that? I didn't offend you. Oh no, that's their problem. That's what we say, right? Nope. It's not their problem. It's our problem if we don't forgive them. It has nothing to do with them. You've heard it before where they say, well, you know what? That person ain't even thinking about you. And they're right. 9 times out of 10, they're not thinking about you. You going around holding a grudge on somebody. This is what sometimes causes some of us to have this darkness in our heart. And it starts to show in your face. Your face, your countenance starts to reveal the issues of the heart. And you can see it in a person's face. Those of you who have the gift of discernment, you know what I'm talking about. Those of you who have the gift of discernment, you can read somebody and say, yep, that person's got a lot of illness, a lot of wickedness, got a lot of this and a lot of that. And you're going to be truly right. Because Yahuwah has given you that gift to see. Another one comes up to mind. Let's go to the book of Yohanan. Let me find this passage. Where is it here? Let's read this. Chapter 3. This is a beautiful chapter in 1 John. Chapter 3 of 1 John. This is a really powerful chapter. I mean, the whole first letter of Yohanan is powerful, but let's read this part and what we're talking about. Chapter 3, verse 1. See what love the Father has given us, that we should be called children of Alua Elohim. For this reason, the world does not know us, because it did not know him. Beloved ones, now we are children of Alua Elohim, and it has not yet been revealed what we shall be, but we know that when he is revealed, we shall be like him. For we shall see him as he is. And everyone having this expectation, this spirit of expectation, in himself cleanses himself as he is clean. Everyone doing sin also does lawlessness, and sin is lawlessness. That is the transgression of the law. And you know that he was manifested to take away our sins, our transgressions. And in him there is no sin. Everyone staying, or that is to say living in him, does not sin. Everyone sinning has neither seen him nor know him. Little children, let no one lead you astray. The one doing righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous. Notice that he who is doing righteousness. But the one doing sin is of the devil, because the devil has sinned from the beginning. It is for this purpose that the Son of Alua Elohim was manifested, to destroy the works of the devil. Everyone having been born of Alua Elohim, notice the word born, that is born again, does not sin, because his seed, the Messiah's seed, stays or lives in him, and he is powerless to sin because he has been born of Alua Elohim. In this the children of Alua Elohim and the children of the devil have been manifested. Everyone not doing righteousness is not of Alua Elohim. Neither the one not loving his brother. Neither the one not loving his brother. We hear all the time, and we talk about it. We are to love our enemies as ourselves, right? But if we're real with ourselves, it's not hard. I mean, it's not easy. It's hard when someone calls you out of your name to love that person. It's hard to love someone that you know is a bigot or a racist or a prejudiced. It is hard to want to love somebody who does not love you back. It's hard. Verse 11, because this is the message that you heard from the beginning, that we should what? Love one another. Mishpachah, you can't love someone if you have not forgiven them. Let me say that again. You cannot say that you are a believer if you do not forgive your brethren. You don't have love in you. There's an issue in you, that little bit of yeast that leavens up the whole lump. You need to remove that ego. You need to remove that pride. You need to remove that hurt. You need to remove whatever it is that obstacle is that is not allowing you to love your neighbor as yourself. I'm speaking to myself as well. This is what we must do during this time of unleavened. Examine ourselves, Mishpachah. We are entering into some precarious times. We are now literally over the precipice. The Messiah is calling us out. He's calling us to come out of this wicked and perverse world. Do not touch the unclean thing. Remove it. He says, remove it from his sight. Remember, we are his temple. And if we are his temple, imagine the priesthood, the Levitical priesthood. They could not bring anything that offends into that temple. Now, what are we going to do? When you read what we know as the Torah, the things that he says that you are not to allow to come into this temple, the priesthood even had to change their garments before they went out of the temple back to the people in the camp. This is how pure they had to be when they entered into the temple to do temple service. We are living, walking temples. So why do I bring this up? Not only about forgiveness, but even those things that profane the temple, which you are that temple. This is why we need to guard our eyes of what we put before our eyes, be it a TV program, be it something that you know you're not supposed to be looking at. Don't put it before your eyes. It is the window into your soul. It is the window or the doorway, the portal into the most high place of the temple. This stuff is going to fall into your heart. That is the most high place. That is the set apart place. The same thing when you are dealing with fire, smoke. Let me ask you all a question. I've had people ask me this a lot of times. Is it wrong to smoke? Well, let me ask you this question. If you was a priest, come on. If you was a priest, which you are a priest, by the way, would you walk into the inner, not even the inner court, would you walk into the outer court with a cigarette in your hand? Would you walk into that court with a cigarette in your hand and that thing is billowing up smoke and you over here taking a puff of it, inhaling it into your temple, and you exhale that smoke out of your temple? Are you not profaning the temple? Aren't you supposed to keep that temple clean and kadosh? Isn't this why we make sure we don't eat these other things that we know that Yahuwah told us not to eat of the dietary laws? If that is your struggle, and I'm not just talking about cigarettes, I'm talking about anything that you can inhale, be it a crack pipe, be it marijuana, be it whatever you want it, fentanyl, whatever it is, ice, meth. You are the temple. Why are you bringing that stuff into your temple? You're not born again. You're not born again. And you're saying, well, I'm just not ready to let it go yet. Really? Is that smoke that important to you that if you had that opportunity and you can see a vision at this very moment that you see that portal that's going to send you into the lake of fire, you don't think you would drop that as a bad habit right at that instant moment? Knowing, oh no, I don't want to go there. That's all I had to see. Let me drop this. Let me drop this cigarette. You would drop it. But for some reason, we have put it in our minds, oh, I just need that one more, just that one more pull. Just that one more time. And then I'll let it go. I'm speaking to myself. I did that. That was me. I used to smoke cigarettes all day with a pack of what do you call it? Corona. You know, that alcohol and that cigarette go hand in hand. The more I drink, the more I smoke. Polluting this temple, polluting it. Abba says, okay, I'm going to get your attention. You're not watching what I've been telling you to do, and you're profaning this temple. I'm going to destroy you. Those who profane the temple, who are destroying the temple, Yahuwah is going to destroy you because you are his temple. Why am I saying this? Because please, Mishpachah, we are at this point. You got to let these things go. You got to let it go. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So what you do, you put down one habit to pick up another? That's not any better. We are to be in control of what we allow to come into this body. If you're long at the wine, check yourself. If you're long with the drink, check yourself. If you can't go a day without having it, you got a problem. If you have a moment that you can't say, oh man, that nicotine is hitting me, check yourself. If you want to continue to do these things, you might as well still be a Christian. Yep, because they'll let you do it. And even some Christians won't even allow you. Some of these denominations be like the holiness people, the apostolic churches. Oh no, you ain't gonna see somebody outside smoking a cigarette outside the church. Them deacons and them ushers are gonna come over and say, hey man, you're gonna have to take that somewhere else. And you know what? You're not even welcome here until you get rid of that. How much more should we? How much more are we than that? We know this truth. We understand the Torah. And yet we're going to continue to play with fire. We're going to continue to go down that road of being disobedient. If he tells us to forgive one another, we're not going to forgive. We're going to hold on to that in our heart. This is not the way. Yahusha says, I'm the way. Pick up your stake and follow me. You don't think they didn't have things that they were smoking back in those days? They were smoking things. They sure were. Look at some of our 10 lost tribe, our brothers and sisters. They call it the peace pipe. Sitting in these teepees, smoking these long pipes. Peyotes from the cactus plant. Opium. All this stuff. There's nothing new under the sun. This is not a modern invention that we're dealing with today. Verse 12. Not as Cain, who was of the wicked one and unalived his brother. And why did he unalive him? Because his works were wicked. But of his brothers, they were righteous. Do not marvel at this, my brethren. If the world hates you because you are no longer doing these things, like your friends, maybe your family members. And now, when we use this word hate here, as it is written in the scriptures, it's talking about they despise your character now. They loved your old character Why? Because you was doing all the things that they were doing. They didn't feel this pressure of you every time you came around as if they had to change the way they were because you are now walking upright. You didn't even say nothing to them. It's because of your countenance. They already feel convicted. Just because you come around, you ain't even convicting them. You just walking in who you are. And they don't like your presence. That's when you know you walking right. That's how you know you are walking right. When you come around in their presence and they're still up with the no good, the no nos, and you no longer doing the no nos, they feel convicted every time you come around. Verse 14. We know that we have passed out of death into life because we love the brethren. The one not loving his brother stays in death. The one not staying or doesn't love his brother, he's staying or he lives, he abides in death, meaning that he's on his way to the lake of fire. That person is on their way to the lake of fire because of what? Not loving his brother. And how does that happen? Because you have something against them. You have something against them. Even for those of you who hate these white tea people, as you say, I'm talking to my Hebrew Israelites. You hate them because of what they've done to our ancestors. So you can't seem to forgive them. So now you have this bitterness in your heart that has taken up root. You think you have everlasting life in you? Notice what it says here. Everyone hating his brother is a murderer. And you know that no murderer has everlasting life staying in him. What? As my Aki Al would say. Check the passage, verse 15. Let's read it again. Everyone hating their brother is a murderer. You might say, I didn't murder nobody. Excuse me. What did the Messiah say? If you even have the thought, you have already committed the act. You don't have to physically do it. You're unaliving your brother in your mind because of something that you have against them. This is that thing that you have not forgiven them for. You might have a reason to be that way, but doesn't matter. You need to forgive. Yes, they done us wrong. Yes, they're still doing us wrong. Yes, they don't treat us right. But let's heap up coals of fire upon their head. Let's forgive them. Let's show them love. Let us make them more angry at us because we're not dealing with them the way that they think that we should deal with them. They want us to hate them so that they have a reason to hate us even more. That's what's causing all of this prejudice and hatred that's going on right now in this world. The love of many shall grow cold in those days. By this, we have known love. Why? Because he laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren. But whoever has this world's substances and sees that his brother is in need and shuts up his tender affections from him, how does the love of Alua Elohim abide or stay or dwell in that person? Do you walk? And I'm not telling you to open up your pocketbook every time you see a homeless person, because that's not what I'm talking about. We're talking about those who truly need some help. We're not talking about an able-bodied person who can go and work. We're not talking about a person who's out there, who's panhandling, who goes back and gets in his Mercedes and goes back home and did his deed for the day because he done got a lot of people to open up their pocketbook and he's not working. That is his job, is going out there panhandling. I'm not talking about those people. We're talking about those people who truly need the help. You know who they are. You see them. You know who I'm talking about. The orphans and the widows and those who may be very old, or those who may be in a wheelchair, or those who have only one leg and they're on crutches. You can see it all in their face. You can see it how the sun has weathered their skin and it looked like a raisin. You know who I'm talking about. Those that you know that truly need the help. You need to not turn a blind eye to that person because you don't know if that's an angel in disguise. And Yahuwah has placed that person in your path to test you, to try you, to see how you're going to deal with them, how you might just walk right by them. Or are you going to be one of those Samaritans that turns there to help out? Maybe you see that person over there on the side of the road and they got a flat tire, and you see car after car after car then pass by them. And you know you have some time. You don't have no need to rush to go somewhere. You have some ample time to get out of that car and say, "Can I help you? Do you need some help? Do you have a flat tire, or do you have a spare tire that might be flat and you have a flat already? Let me take you to the store up the street. Let us fill that thing up with air so then we can bring back and I'll help you put that tire back on your car." Or maybe their car is just out. It's kaput. Take them to the next place where they can get somewhere where they're safe instead of being on the road. There's many ways we can show love. Those are just a couple examples. Maybe it's somebody in your own family. You know, you just keep preaching to them, but you ain't showing them no kind of kindness. You ain't going out of your way to help your brother or helping your sister biologically. I'm talking about your biological brother and sister. But you keep constantly preaching to them, but you're not doing anything else with them. Guess what they say to you? "Man, you over here saying that you this and you that, but when I need help, you ain't even helping me. I got to go to somebody else to get help," when they know you got the ability to help them and you're holding back those needs. "Man, I'm not going to help my brother. Every time I try to talk to him about the truth, he always turns his shoulder to me, and now he wants something, and now he wants me to help him. No, I ain't going to help him." That's not the way to be, Mishpachah. It's not the way we're supposed to be. We don't repay evil with evil. We don't turn and do the same thing that they're doing to us, and we turn around and treat them the same way. Just because they did that to us, we don't do that to them. This shouldn't be. Verse 18, "My little children, let us not love in word or in speech, but in deed and in truth." You see this? "And by this we know that we are of the truth." We talk about this all the time, that we're part of the Amat. We know the Amat. We know the truth. We are in the truth. "And shall set our hearts at rest before him, that if our hearts condemns us, Elohim is greater than our heart and knows all." Beloved ones, if our heart does not condemn us, we have boldness towards Alua Elohim. If you don't feel the conviction in your heart that you have done something wrong, you are spiritually dead. You have become calloused. You have a calloused heart. You have a hard heart. You no longer know what it feels like to have care or love for another person. That's a scary place to be. I don't want to be near anybody like that, because that can rub off on me. We're to always show affection, even when they take advantage of us. But Jimmy, I don't want them. Man, they're gonna suck me dry. Again, use your discernment. Use your discernment. That doesn't mean you shut down everybody else that has come to you asking for a handout. They might truly need it. And if they might not even truly need it, we're to give from a cheerful heart, not expecting it to come back. I am telling you, Mishpachah, I have witnessed it many times in my life. And I know many of you have as well. When you give from your heart, Yahuwah gives back to your heart. It's just what he does. He sees everything that's happening, even at this very moment. What did we read earlier? He says, "Where 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, he is in our midst." And I know we have more than 2 of us in here that are gathering together in his name. He's here. He's listening. He's observing everything that you are thinking. Notice what I said. He is observing everything that you are thinking. As we're reading his words, these words is affecting you a certain way right now. What are you going to do with these words? Are you going to change your ways? Are you going to change your habits? Are you going to start to look into yourself and stop pointing the finger at everyone else when you are the one with the big old plank in your eye? I'm speaking to myself as well. Again, this is the week of unleavened bread. No yeast, no pride, no rise, no leavening. No rising agent should be in us. No egotistical ways, no boastful ways. These things need to be out of us. Why are you always trying to put up a wall? You won't let nobody in because you're afraid to expose yourself. You're guarding yourself so much that you don't even know how to react to people because you have calcified your heart, your understanding. So now all you're doing is reading word, you're staying to yourself, you're in your own home, you're not sharing this message, you're just being all about yourself. Well, at least I know I'm saved. Are you truly? You're not saved if you're not sharing. If you're all by yourself and you're not sharing and you're getting fed every week and you're not doing something with what you're being fed by the Creator and you're not taking that word and you're giving it to, we just read that we are his watchmen. We just read that we're supposed to be the doorkeepers. But you ain't even opening up the door to go out to see what's going on outside because you're staying right there in your own little cozy four walls. Because it's all about you. Let's stop being selfish and be selfless. Because this is what the Mashiach did. Remember, we're supposed to follow him. He made himself available. He didn't stay up in the Garden of Gethsemane. He didn't stay up at the Mount of Olives. He didn't stay out somewhere in the desert where nobody can find him. No, he made himself available. Now, what those people do to him, as they are going to do to us, they're going to be judged for those things. But know that what you are doing from a true heart, from a sincere heart, in sincerity and in truth, you're going to get a great reward, my friend. You are his child, and he's going to be so pleased with you. He's going to be pleased with you. Beloved ones, verse 21. If our heart does not condemn us, we have boldness towards Allah Elohim, and whatever we ask, we receive from him. Why? Because we keep his commandments. We keep his commandments and do what is pleasing in his sight. He told us to love one another. That's his commandment. He told us to give to others. That's his commandment. He says to love your enemies. That's his commandment. When you do these things, he is going to give you the desires of your heart. So whatever you ask of him, he knows you're going to do the right things with it. Why? Because he knows you're keeping his commandments, and you're going to take that money, or you're going to take whatever it is that he gave you, and you're going to use it rightly. You're not going to spend it on your flesh. You're not going to go buy some idols. You're not going to go buy that mansion on a hill. No, because this is not your home at this moment. You're not going to get yourself a nice little carriage chariot with 24s on it, ringing and blinging in gold. No. You're going to buy yourself a Toyota Camry, and you're going to take the rest of that money and you're going to do something else with it. I'm not saying you have to go buy a Camry. I mean, it is a nice vehicle after all, and it does maintain itself for a while. Not doing a Toyota commercial. I'm just saying, You need to take what Yahuwah is going to give you because you are doing what he has called you to do, because you're keeping his commandments, and he can trust you with that money. He can trust you with what he gives you. He can trust you because he knows you are his and you are doing what you're supposed to do. And this is his commandment, that we should believe in the name of his son, Yahusha, the Messiah, and love one another as he gave us command. Love one another. Not only do we believe in his true name, because that's what we're all about, his true name. We're not going with the Greco-Romanized Greek name that they've given us, Jesus. We know where that name comes from for those of us who have done some bit of research. We're not going to take because we see something written in black and white in our so-called BIBLEs. That's the book for me. And so we see JESUS and we think that's his name. Like that was the name that was given to him by the Archangel Gabriel. We know that's not his name. So we believe in his true name. And we love one another as he has given us command. And the one keeping his commandments dwells or abides or stays in him, and he in him. And by this we know that he stays in us or abides in us, by the Ruach that he gave us. Isn't this what he said in Matthew chapter 14? John chapter 14. If you keep my commandments, I shall come into you and I shall dwell in you and I shall manifest myself to you. This is book. This is the truth. It doesn't change. We have changed this information. And so while time is running out, while time is truly running out, Mishpachah, don't be waiting to remove these things out of your life. You might be saying, okay, just one more day. I'm just going to do it one more day. You don't know that tomorrow's promised to you. I just want just a little bit, just a little bit. A little bit leavens the whole lump. A little bit is going to keep you doing what you keep doing because you are not removing the unclean thing. You keep doing the unclean thing. I know you all love the Mashiach, or you wouldn't be here. I know you all want to have everlasting life, or you wouldn't be here. So if that is the case, which I believe is the case for all of us that are in here, let's start making those steps towards everlasting life. Let's start doing those things that pleases our Abba in the Shama. Let's truly have that love for one another. What did the Messiah says? He says that they shall know you, that you are my disciples. Why? Why are they going to know that we're his disciples? Let me see it in the comments. Why are they going to know that we are his disciples? His Talmudim. Why? That's right, Akdawud. That's right. That we have love one for another. That we have love one for another. This is how they know that you are my disciples. Because we love each other. Just like it says here in John chapter 5. Look at this. Everyone, this is 1 John chapter 5. Everyone who believes in Yahusha is the Messiah, has been born of Alua Elohim. That born, that's the born again experience. And everyone who loves the one bringing forth, meaning the Messiah, also loves the one having been born again of him. That is the true born again experience. By this we know that we love the children of Alua Elohim. That is you and I having love for one another. When we love Alua Elohim and we keep his commandments, guard his commands. And one of his commands was what? You are to love one another. For this is the love for Alua Elohim, that we keep his commandments. And what does it say here? And his commandments are not heavy. Your translation may say, are not burdensome. Because everyone having been born of Alua Elohim, again, been born again, overcomes the world, overcomes the world, overcomes the world, overcomes the world. Stuck like I'm in some kind of twilight zone, overcomes the world. The world is powerless over us. How did we pick up cigarettes? Because the world gave it to us. How did we pick up drugs? Because the world gave it to us. How did we pick up fornicating and sleeping with all over the place, just doing what we want to do? Because the world gave it to us. All these things that we know is contrary to his law, the world has given it to us. And since we're talking about the world, let's talk about this. Verse 17 of 1 John 4. By this love has been perfected with us, in order that we might have boldness in the day of judgment. Because as he is, so are we in this world. In this world. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear, because fear holds punishment. And he who fears has not been made perfect in love. You see that? We love him because he first loved us. If someone says, I love Alua Elohim, and hates his brother, he is a liar. For the one not loving his brother whom he has seen, how is he able to love Alua Elohim who he has not seen? Make that make sense. I love Alua Elohim, really. But you hate your brother, even your brother of the flesh. Make that make sense. And yet you expect Yahuwah to forgive you when you get on your knees. You're doing all these outward things that appear to be that you have asked for forgiveness and that you've humbled yourself, but you truly haven't from your heart. Remember, we're to forgive from the heart. We're to forgive from your heart. Look at this. Check this one out about this world. Chapter 2, verse 15 of the same book. Do not love the world. Wait a minute. He told us to love people, right? But this is not what he's talking about here when he says, do not love the world. But I thought he said we're to love our enemies and they're in the world. Stop twisting scripture. He's telling you not to love the world, nor that is in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in that person. Because what? Here it is. Because all that is in the world. Now he's going to tell you, he's giving you a definition of what he's talking about the world. The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. This is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world is passing away and the lust of it. But the one doing, there's the key word there, that action word, that action verb. But the one doing the desire, the will of Alua Elohim, that person is going to remain forever. That person has everlasting life. That person is not going to die in the lake of fire. Let us remove the leaven of the world from ourselves. Let us remove these things that has easily beset us in this world. I know some of you might be thinking, and that I'm convicting you kind of hard about the habits that some of us have. But I'm only sharing this because I truly have a haba for you. It is not to condemn you. I have no no means to condemn you. It's the Ruach that's in you that is convicting you. That's why you feel what you're feeling right now. For those of you who still have some of these habits that you know that Abba Yahuwah is not happy with you, he's forgiving you. And every time you go down and you ask him to forgive you, he is forgiving you. But there's a limitation to when he shall not forgive you anymore. There's a day of reckoning if you do not allow that sin to be removed out of your life. You must change. We must be born again. We must not be conformed to this world or the things that are in this world. We're all guilty. You want to be one of the 144? Start making those steps towards that. Yahuwah already knows who are the 144. He's already sealed those that he knows are going to be the 144. I pull that every last one of us in here is the 144. But the reality is not all of us are, including myself. But if we should be found worthy, as we try to exercise not only this freedom that we have in the Mashiach, but we remove those things that we know displeases him. Just like your husband or your wife, you're not going to do things that displeases your husband or your wife. Why? Because that's going to cause a disagreement. And what does a disagreement happen? It happens to the point that if you keep doing it, that disagreement is going to keep getting bigger. And next thing you know, anger has now come about. This is where the wrath of Yahuwah comes. This is why he says, I say to you, you are to forgive them 70 times 7. Because when that 490 years is over and we're fast approaching it, Mishpachah, his anger is coming. Because we did not let go of those things that we were supposed to work out of ourselves. You see, there's a teaching going on out there that all of a sudden we're going to be gathered up and taken into the wilderness where Yahuwah is going to deal with us. Those of you who have been with me for a while, you know that that is not the way that this is going to happen. He's dealing with us right now. That's what this unleavened bread week is all about. We have entered into this new year. Could this be the year? Could this be the year that he is going to snatch up the 144,000 and we find ourselves being ushered into the Great Tribulation? I believe it is. I do believe it is. We're getting ready to see some serious and terrible things. And we continue to live like the world. We continue to spend time like the world. We continue to talk and act like the world, as if Yahuwah and his prophecies are not coming to pass. But he's telling us, and he keeps sending off all these. It's like the lights on your instrument panel in your car. It's starting to go off, and then another light goes off, and another light goes off. And you're like, man, what is going on? Warning. Warning. And some of us don't want to believe it. We act like that check engine light didn't come on. You better check your engine. You better check yourself. We need to check ourselves. That's what this Feast of Unleavened is all about. This is why Christianity, they just keep on going with this once saved, always saved. They think all you have to do is just profess in your mouth and believe in your heart and you're saved. It's more than that. This is why we need to keep this feast days, because these feast days, these are days of preparation. It's preparing us to meet our Savior. And when you do these things, when you observe these feast days, it puts you in this mindset to be better than you was before you did it. We're not just going through these motions of eating unleavened bread for nothing. That unleavened bread isn't going to save you. That's symbolism of what you're supposed to be doing on the inside. And you're putting that from the outside into your mouth for you to symbolically remember Move the leaven out of my mind and out of my heart. It's not about the spring cleaning that you got to do in your house to remove all the yeast. That was the tutor. That's what the law represented. We know it's deeper than that. It's more than physical, it's spiritual. And this is what the Mashiach was teaching us when he was here. The Ruach is teaching us that the Torah, the law, is spiritual and not physical. So you keep it from the heart. And in doing so, it's going to manifest itself in the flesh. And you'll do it in the physical. This is why it's so important. Like it says here, let me take you to this passage. Let's go to 1 Corinthians. Chapter 3. Verse 11. Chapter 3, verse 11. For no one is able to lay any other foundation. Notice what we're talking about. Foundation, foundational teachings, except that is laid, that is Yahusha, the Messiah. He's supposed to be our foundation. Remember, he is the rock of our salvation. And if anyone builds on this foundation with gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, and straw, each one's work. Notice people talk about, oh, we're not supposed to be doing any work. They don't understand what this word work means. Each one's work shall be revealed. For the day, what day? The day of judgment shall show it up, because it is revealed by fire. And the fire shall prove the work of each one, what sort it is. If anyone's work remains that he has built on, he shall receive a reward. If anyone's work is burned, he shall suffer loss, but he himself shall be saved. But as also through fire, or as through fire. What is being told to us here? You come into this knowledge, you know the truth. You think you're doing it for the right reasons, but Yahuwah says, What you're doing it for selfish motives, for selfish reasons. Your motives were all wrong. And Yahuwah is going to reveal it. He's going to expose your heart. He's going to say, it was all about you. It wasn't about me. You were seeing this and you were saying that, but it wasn't about me. It was about you. You trying to show people how much you know. You want to try to tell people, and that's what I see in a lot of these rooms, bickering back and forth. Nobody humble. Nobody speaking the truth, and to humble themselves because they want to show off what they know, giving all this knowledge, but they don't understand the power in denying it. Do you not know that you are the dwelling place, the temple of the Mighty One, and that the Spirit, the Ruach of Alua Elohim, dwells in you? If anyone destroys this temple of Alua Elohim shall destroy them. For the dwelling place, the temple of Alua Elohim, is set apart, is Kadash, and that is you. That you are. That you are. I hope that some of you on this Yom, on this day, the Lat Yom, the fourth day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, you're evaluating yourself, examining yourself to remove the boasting, the pridefulness, the ego, the habits, the world, these things that are in us that is contrary to this walk. We can do it, Mishpachah. We can do it. This is why we're here, to help each other, to uplift one another. If any of you right now have a habit, we don't want to know what the habit is. If any of you have a habit and you want to pull together with me, that Yahuwah will remove this, and you are literally going to take the action in yourself to say, I'm done. I'm going to drop it right now as a bad habit. I want to pull with you. I want to come in agreement with you. And we're going to pull that Yahuwah will give you the strength. Because you want to remove it out of your life, I'm willing to pull with you right now. Right now. We're going to do this. If that is you, give me a 1. If that is you, give me a 1. Let us all pull. I see that's all of us, including myself. Let us humble ourselves before Abba Yahuwah. If you are able, I know some of you probably can't, but if you are able, I would like for us to prostrate ourselves on the floor, begging Abba Yahuwah to remove these things out of our life. I right now am getting down on this floor, and we're going to pull. We're going to pull. Whatever that habit is in your life that you know is displeasing to Yahuwah, and you're wanting this to be out of your life, we're coming before him in ambiance, in worship, prostrated on our knees and on our hands with our heads to the ground, as if we are begging before his throne, boldly coming to his throne, asking. And we know whatever we ask of him, because we have been given that opportunity, because we know him, that whatever we ask for, that he shall do it. Let us pull right now. Heavenly Abba Yahuwah, we come before you on bended knees, with our heads bowed to the floor, prostrated before you, O Abba, visually seeing you before us, O Yah, sitting on your throne, high and lifted up. Abba, you know those things that is in each one of our hearts that is contrary to this walk. Abba, we do not do this to be seen by men. We do not do this, O Abba, to convict one another. We bring it before you, O Abba, that you would remove this from our hearts and in our minds, from our wants, our desires that are contrary to your desires, O Abba. Abba, give us the strength to remove whatever it is that's in our life. If it's something tangible that is physical, help us to not think twice, to throw it away, flush it away, burn it away. Help us, O Abba, to remove the things that are in our life that is contrary to you, that is displeasing to you. And we ask that you give us the strength to do so. Abba, you said that you will forgive us 70 times 7. And we know that that limit is coming. We know that we are approaching that day when your anger shall be aroused upon the inhabitants of this earth. May your wrath not come upon us, your people. May you pass over us as you have done with our ancestors on the day when they were in Mitzrayim, and you allowed the death Malak to pass over them. Abba, we ask that you do this even now amongst us during this time of Hag Maksot. That you help us, O Abba, to remove these things that has caused us to easily be caught into the trap and in the snare of the enemy. Abba, if it's cigarettes, remove that taste, that desire of nicotine that has caused our brain to be itching for that desire, to have a want for it in our heart. If it be pornography, O Abba, may you remove those devilish sights out of our brains, that we will no longer be drawn to those things, O Abba, that Satan has put before us as a stumbling block. If it be any type of drug, O Abba, we ask that you would take that taste out of our minds and out of our hearts and out of our mouth, O Abba. If it be whatever it is, anger issues, if it be unforgiveness, O Abba, if it be backbiting, O Yah, if it be slandering, O Abba, if it is us that are being busybodies and speaking rumors, O Abba, remove those things, O Yah, that we know is contrary to this walk that you have given us to walk. Help us to be more like your Bane. Help us to be more like him and walk in his path. Help us to not owe anything to anyone but love. Help us to walk in a new countenance. Remove our old ways, O Abba, from before us. Help us to forget those things that have gone by and pressing forward to that goal, that upward calling in the Messiah, Yahusha, so that we may not sin against you. Prepare us as your people, O Abba, by your Ruach HaKadosh, that we may be found worthy to escape these things that are about to come upon this Arats, to test those who dwell upon this earth. Help us to forgive one another as you have forgiven us, O Abba. Help us to cancel all debts and transgressions that others have committed against us, be it our friends, family, co-workers, or even our enemies, O Abba, our neighbors. Help us to walk in the newness of life, O Yah. Help us to truly be your people. Help us to be your regents on this Arats. Help us not to be accusers of the brethren. Help us to uplift one another. Help us to exhort one another. Help us to speak nice, kind words to one another, O Abba. Even in our joking, O Yah, may our jokes be soft. May our jokes, O Abba, be kind. May we not speak words of this earth that brings forth curses upon others, O Yah, but only barakah, blessings, O Yah. Help us to love each other as we love ourselves. As we want no harm or danger to come to us, we ask the same for our neighbors and our friends and our families, O Abba. Even those that we hate, even those that are enemies. May the hatred, that disgusting thing that has come to us all, to where we despise those that are around us, may we love them as well. Loving the person, but hating what they stand for. Loving them for their your image, but hating their agendas that is contrary to you. Abba, we palaw for one another. All those who call upon your name and seek your wonderful face, O Abba, all throughout this Arats, this world. Help us as your people to be those true ambassadors, the citizens of the Shamayim, to go forth and evangelize this world for you. For you say that this word of the kingdom is to be spoken and preached to all nations, and then the end shall come. And Abba, we know that this is happening at a rapid pace right now. With the aid of this technology, of these social media platforms, oh Abba. May all of our words be seasoned with salt. May we truly be the light of this world. May we be the ones that are the salt of the earth. May we go forth, O Abba, to do the work of an evangelist in season and out of season. May we go out as those laborers, O Abba Yahuwah, for you say that the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Help us to be those laborers, O Abba, in your field, on your plantation, in this world, on this foundation. Help us, O Abba. Help us to clean ourselves. Help us to be mindful of what we are doing this Yom. As we partake of the unleavened bread, may that unleaven be the words that proceeds from your mouth and off the pages of these books that you have given us. May we plant these words in our hearts so that we may not transgress against you, O Abba. This is our palau, our petition, our supplication that we bring before you, O Abba, as we confess and profess from our own mouths what we have brought into this temple that belongs to you. For we do not have ownership of these bodies any longer, for these bodies belong to you. Help us to be that way. Help us to walk in that light. Help us to be new creations in the Mashiach. All this we pull before you in the mighty name of your Bane, Yahushua HaMashiach. Hallelujah. 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 Amat. Rumamu Yahuwah. Worthy is the Lamb. Kadash, Kadash, Kadash is the Almighty Al Shaddai Yahuwah. Hallelujah. For there is none like you. You and you alone are Al Shaddai. You and you alone, O Abba. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. If you pull all that with me, and I stand with you, Akis and Kodis, let us walk forward. Let us not be a dog and return to our own vomit. Let us not revive that old man that is dead, that old man that is now down. Let us not revive him. We have the power to resurrect our old selves. Let us not take that authority into our own hands to resurrect our former ways. If you're saying that you are done and you brought it before Abba Yahuwah, he says that we are to complete our vow. We are to make right what we have said before him. If we draw near to him, he is going to draw near to us. And if we do our part, he will remove that issue that is in your life right now like a cold turkey, a cold habit. It's done. It's over. It's gone. But it's up to you to do so. It's up to you to do so. It's so easy for us to pick up that old man again and revive them. Remember what the Messiah says. Where's that passage? Somebody find it for me. Where he talks about how the demon that left the house and he found it all cleaned up, all in order. And he goes and finds 7 worse demons than themselves, and they come back to that one. Find that passage for me. Somebody look that up. Let us read that together. Let us read that together. Matthew 12, Tudata. Matthew 12, let's go there. Matthew 12. What does it say here? Verse 43. Now when the unclean spirit goes out of a person, he goes through dry places, seeking rest, and finds none. Then this unclean spirit says, I shall return to my house. I shall return to that host from where I came. And when it comes, it finds it empty, swept, and decorated. Meaning that you gave yourself to the Messiah. Meaning that you turned from your old ways. Then it goes and it takes with it 7 other ruachot, more wicked than itself, stronger than itself. And they enter and dwell there. And the last of that person or that man or that woman is worse than the first. So shall it also be with this wicked generation. When we have asked Yahuwah to remove something in our life, he did it. And we were free of it. And then we take it upon ourselves to allow that foothold, that door to have a crack in it, to allow that evil, wicked spirit to come back in, and he brings in 7 worse than himself. Do you understand how much harder it is going to be the next time if he's even going to want to remove those wicked spirits from you, those unclean spirits from you? Because you defied the living Alua Alahim. You see, this is the problem. Why some of us can't let go of these things, because he has removed it from us before. And we went back to those bad habits. And you feel like you're not yourself unless you do those things that has been removed from you because of your weakness. Remember what the Messiah said to the woman who was caught in the act of adultery. He said, where are your accusers? She says, I don't see them. He says, well, I don't accuse you. Go and sin no more. Go and transgress the laws no more. Don't break the laws anymore. But some of us, oh, he'll forgive me. I'll just ask for forgiveness again. I've done that many times. And what it does, it calluses your heart. It calluses your understanding. And now you've been given over to a reprobate mind. And when you've been given over to a reprobate mind, you cannot be saved from that mind. You talk about a mental illness. You got a spiritual mental illness if you keep on playing with Yahuwah. You say to remove it and he removes it and you bring it back in. That might be that time where he says, I'm not going to remove it. I'm done helping you remove it. I'm handing you over to Satan. This walk is very serious, Mishpachah. And you all know we're living in the last of the last days. On this Shabbat, this week of unleavened bread, may this be the moment, this week be the moment that you are finally done with the world. That you are finally done with the world and those things that are in it. Because anyone who is in love with this world, Yahuwah is not in love with you. because you are cheating on him. You're being unfaithful to him. And for that reason, you are not his bride, and you will not be his wife. You will not be that clean virgin who he's coming back to marry. The choice is ours. The time is ticking. And that time is going to be here very soon. So let us be encouraged. Let us understand that he is with us. He is not against us. He is for us. And he wants us to be his children. He's already done his part. Now we got to do ours, and that is to be obedient to him. So let us be obedient. As we have been told from the very beginning, may we not be those rebels. May we not be those who are disobedient to his laws, statutes, and commandments. For this is a sign between him and us that we keep his commandments, Mishpachah. I want to thank all of you for being here this Yom, on this Shabbat. I palal that you're a new person today. I palal for those of you who palaled with us just now, that you are walking in the newness of life, that you have rededicated yourself to your Mashiach, that you've given yourself back to our Abba, that you know that you are married to him, and that you do not belong to another. We are not to be prostitutes. We are not to be whores. We are his bride, clean, pure, spotless, blameless before him, because of the blood of his dam from his bane, Yahushua HaMashiach. He is the one that has made us clean by his dam, by his blood. Hallelujah. And so with that, I'll take a few comments and questions that I'll read over this live. I will not be doing a second segment today. I have family members who have came in from Austin, Texas, and they're downstairs right now. I'm going to sit and speak with them, see what Abba Yahuwah puts on my heart. For we know that all this is not by coincidence. These days are the days that the prophets looked into. These are the days that has been written for a certain particular generation, that they would see these things transpire in their lifetime. You and I, Mishpachah, have been given the task to feed the world the truth. May we feed them this truth that Yahuwah has entrusted us with. The ministry of reconciliation, to reconcile our family, that there are those who are lost, back to their Creator, our Abba, their Abba, our Creator, their Creator. Hallelujah. Any questions? Any comments? Shalom, Makoti Tracy. Shabbat Shalom. What if they won't listen? You know, it's not about them not listening. It's about you being obedient, and you tell them even if they refuse the words. Remember, the Messiah says, if they refuse me, they're going to refuse you. If they won't hear my words, they're not going to hear your words. But you still need to share it. That's the obedient part that we're supposed to do. Let me see here. The gray tone about medicine from a doctor for pain or anxiety. There are many things that we get from pharmaceuticals, these pharmacies, that has caused us to be entrapped into their medical system. I would ask you, Gray Tone, have you looked into alternative, holistic ways? It may not work as fast. Sometimes you have to dose up for it to take root into your heart or root into your physical body for it to activate. Have you tried it? And if so, why aren't you still on it? Because a lot of these things that man has given us are synthetic. Synthetic. Why is it synthetic? It was man-made. But where did they get this synthesis from? They got it from something that Yahuwah has already made from a plant-based plant. You need to find out what that plant is and use that plant instead of these synthetic drugs that are substitutes. So like for me, for high blood pressure, I don't take any these synthetic beta blockers. Yahuwah has given us natural remedies like black licorice, pine needles, pine bark, other sorts of natural remedies. It takes a little longer to kick in, but once you keep taking it religiously, you'll see the effects, and it's better. It has no side effects. You don't have to take one for high blood pressure and then that synthetic pill. Now it has side effects, so now you have to take some other pills for those side effects, and now those pills that you take have their side effects. The next thing you know, you got a whole amount of Skittles in your hand that you're taking down your throat because they all have side effects to offset the other. So you need to look for the natural remedy and stop going to man when Yahuwah has already given us the herbs of the field. We just have to do a little bit of searching. Stop going to these people. This is why they never try to cure you. They never try to cure you. They just put a band-aid over your symptoms and say, here, take this. Joanna, are you the one, or Joanna, are you the one who sent me these life straws? Joanna, if so, I want to thank you personally to the Atah for that. If you are the one, Joanna, I'm not sure if you are. You say, I have a small tattoo on my shoulder and feel that I should remove it because Yahuwah's word says we should not mark our bodies. If you have that, Joanna, I would say do so. I'm in the process of removing mine now. I've already had two procedures, and I'm going to have some more because it's probably going to take another 4 or 5 doses for me to get it off. Or I don't know if you call it doses, or I don't know what they call it, but I have to get another 4 or 5 treatments to get it. It's getting lighter and lighter. Thanks to Abba Yahuwah. Yohana Yahoo 3738. What if the unbelieving partner doesn't want you to share about Yahuwah, but I do it anyways? Joanna Yahoo, are you talking about you're sharing it with your partner, or are you sharing it with other people and your partner doesn't like you sharing it with other people? Or is it with him or her or him? I think it is, right? Yes, garlic is another great one for cleaning out the blood vessels. Yes. To other people, well, then, Joanna, you know, if he doesn't want you to share with other people, he can't stop you. Okay. Who are you going to obey? You're going to obey your husband or you're going to obey Yahuwah? Thank you, Shishi. Yeah, I mean, if you have a lot, don't try to remove your tattoos. Your tattoos can be a witness to others of how far you've come. It shows where you came from and who you are now. But if you're still getting tattoos, you're breaking the commandments. I hope none of you are doing that. Some people are saying, oh, well, now that I come into this truth, I'm going to get Yahuwah tattooed on my forehead because it says in Revelation chapter 14 that they got Yahuwah's name on their forehead. No, that is not what we do. Let your tattoos be a witness if you have many. But if you have one and you have the means to remove it, remove it. If you don't have a means to remove even the one, no worries. It's not going to condemn you. It's now that you've come into this truth and you still do it. Oh, you're defying. You're being defiant. That's being a rebel. And we know we're not supposed to do that. BT, piercings in in your ears and your nose, that is okay. That is okay. As long as you're not doing it excessively. The way the earrings were to be from the times of old, it had to do with being a servant to one who was an in-house servant to a Hebrew of a Yasharal. And so, you know, it talks about, excuse me, in the book of Leviticus, I believe it's in chapter 25, about the releasing of a servant after the Yobel, or the what we call Jubilees, that year of Yobel, when everything is supposed to be released, and you release the servants after 6 years, and on the seventh year they're to be released. But if he or she decides to stay with you, then you are supposed to take a nail and pierce their earlobe to show that they now belong to you and that they're to serve you for the rest of their life. That's what it originally meant, right? But if you realize, if you go and you look at the story about the children of Yasharah, when they came out of Egypt, they had all kinds of piercings of gold and stuff in their ears and in their nose. And remember, Aaron asked for those things of gold that they had in their ears and their nose, and it was through that that he made this golden calf. Okay. Um, we also know that through marriage, um, a woman would pierce her nose to show that she is married to her husband. Today, many people do it for aesthetics of their body. We don't do that stuff. All this piercing of the tongue and having like 10 or 15 ear lobes or earrings all the way up the side of their ears. No, that's what the heathens do. We don't do that kind of stuff. But if you already have that, you know, again, let it be a witness of where you come from. Just don't get any more. Let's see, what else is it? Is removing your tattoos expensive? Well, I just happen to have an Akudi in here, Akudi Tanya, and she's been I don't know what you call those people. Tanya, would you like to tell us what it is that you're called? That's the Titian or something? I don't know. Tattoo Titian or removal tactician? I don't know, but she's made it to where it's easy for me and cheap for me to do it. So this is why I'm getting it done. Yes, Marie, that's what I would do. I remove all earrings. I have both of my earlobes pierced. I don't wear any earrings anymore. But I'm not condemning someone because they still have earrings. That is not, you know, a lot of the piercings that it talks about in scripture, they would pierce the inward part of their nose. You know how it looks like they got a stick running through from one uh one side of their nose to the other hole of their nose, and it's sticking out, like this big old stick, like you see a lot of Hamites be doing in Africa. Yeah, we're not to be doing that kind of stuff. And a lot of these piercings and tattoos they do for the dead. Oh, there she is. Thank you, Tanya. Cody Tanya says yes. Advanced esthetician. That's what they are called. That's what our Cody Tanya is called. She's an esthetician, doctor esthetician, and also our Cody, Cody Veronica. She does the same as well. She's been in the business for some years. If you live in the Palm Springs area and you want to get some tats removed, or you want a facial or anything like that, an uplift of your face, she's the one to see. She did my first session, and it was beautiful. Tudata, if you're listening, Cody Veronica. Septum piercing. Yes, that's what they call it, through the nose. Yes, through that part of the nose. Walking around like a bull. Yes, yes. So we got about another 20 minutes here. And I really enjoy our Shabbats together. If you love Abba Yahuwah, give me a 777. If you love Abba Yahuwah, give me a 777. Yes, hallelujah, Yahuwah. Mm-hmm. Hallelujah, Yahuwah. You're very welcome, Cody Lupe. We missed you at our time that we had together. We so happy to see your nephew and your brother with us. It was a wonderful Yom, wonderful day, and wonderful time. Aki Chris, you got banned. What do you mean you got banned? You can't get banned. How you get banned? You got banned from YouTube? Yes, Cody Nazareth, we wish you was with us. Yes, you were. Yes, you were, Cody Lupe. Oh no, the chat just blocked me for a few minutes for posting too many sevens. What? Hallelujah, Yahuwah. Hallelujah, Yahuwah. So I had someone had asked me the question, when are we going to have another gathering? If it be Yahuwah's will, we'll see if it happens or not. But we would like to have it here in the Vegas area for the Feast of Shabuat, also known as the Feast of Weeks. I will have to look into it to see. I would like to have it in the local mountains here, just outside of Las Vegas, in an area called Mount Charleston. We would like to rent a cabin up there where we can come before Abba Yahuwah in the mountains and wave the 2 loaves before him. The first fruits is on the 26th of our calendar, of Yahuwah's calendar. It's the 26th. It will be, let me bring the calendar out here. It's going to be after next Shabbat is the Feast of First Fruits. It's going to be next week after the Shabbat. In fact, let me update my calendar right now. Oh, let me see here. This might be too heavy to put over there. Put this off to the side. Okay, so let me update this calendar. So today is the Shabbat. Every green bead on this calendar is a Shabbat. So next Shabbat, and then right after the next Shabbat is the Feast of First Fruits. That's the 26th. The 26th of the first month. 27, 28, 29, 30. 26th. And again, we will do the Feast of Shavuot if it be Yahuwah's will. We don't know yet. We'll see what happens. With everything that's going on in this world, we have no idea. We must just prepare ourselves for whatever comes our way. Mm-hmm. Right here, Aki. Right there. This silver bead right here. It'll be the one that's 5 down from the top on the first month. Brian Coulter, you said, does the 144,000 consist of those that have passed on as well as the ones that are alive today? No, it is only for those who are going to be alive at that time. It's the 144,000 that shall be alive at the time. Shabbat Shalom, Akodi Jackie C. Yes, Abba Yahuwah heal our Cody Nazareth. Yahuwah Z7I, how do you explain to someone that the name of the Mashiach is Yahusha and not Emmanuel based on Isaiah 7:14 and Matthew 1:23 to someone? So first of all, when it says there in Yashayahu 7:14 that he shall be called Emmanuel, or the mighty one with us, we see that there are many a times we are told in scripture, even in Isaiah chapter 9, it talks about how he shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty Al, Everlasting Father, and the Prince of Peace. But we know that he is not called that. Like no one went up to him and said, Prince of Peace, save me, right? We know that that's not what it was saying. These are things that it would be his character. He personifies all of those titles. And so the same thing with Emmanuel in Isaiah 7:14. Let's look at this real quick. Let's go there. Isaiah 7:14. Remove this book here. The Emmanuel prophecy. Therefore, Yahuwah himself, verse 14, therefore, Yahuwah himself gives you a sign. Look, the Alma, the virgin or young woman, young maiden, conceives and gives birth to a son and shall call his name Emmanuel. And we know that to be the mighty one with us. Okay. And this is why the Messiah says, I have come in my Father's name, and you do not accept me. But if another comes in his own name, you will accept him. So we know from this passage alone that the Son is going to be the creator in the flesh. Now, when we go to Matityahu 1:23, it is being prophesied here about what was saying, see, and Alma shall conceive and shall give birth to a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel. What that is translated to mean the mighty one with us. But to make this make sense, we have to go back up to see what it says here, what the archangel Gabriel told Yosef, Joseph, that his name is to be called. Here it says, and she, that is Mary, shall give birth to a son, and you shall call his name Yahusha. It doesn't say Emmanuel. It says Yahusha. Why? For he shall save his people from their sins. And we know Yahusha means I am his salvation, or I am his savior, or redeemer, or deliverer. So again, the word here, Yah, is embodying who is Emmanuel. The mighty one is with us. And so this is what we read in John chapter 1 when it says the same about how in verse 14, and the word became flesh and pitched his tent among us. Some translation says dwelt among us. This would be Emmanuel. The word became flesh, Emmanuel. Not all, Mary, not all of the Hebrew language is made up like metaphors. There is words that are used to, just like in English, we have these words that are like figures of speech. Some would call it, I can't even think of it right now. But it's a way of speaking something, and I can't even think of it. My mind is one of you probably know what I'm trying to say. But a lot of the idioms, there are idioms in Hebrew that have a certain type of meaning, and you would have to know that idiom in the Hebraic understanding when it shares some words that you have to look into. And so it's a type of figure of speech, like the word lamb. Okay, we know that our Messiah, it says in Revelation chapter 5 that he is the lamb that was slain before the foundation of the world, and it describes the lamb as having 7 eyes and 7 horns. Okay, that's symbolism, metaphorically speaking, of our Messiah, the perfect lamb, hence the number 7, the 7 eyes and the 7 horns. He's the perfect lamb, right? Yes, antitype, um, what they call it, typologies, but to say that the Hebrew language itself is just a lot of symbolisms, not really, but there is symbolism in Hebrew, in Hebraic idioms and terminologies. Yes. You're very welcome, Marie. And I want to thank all of you who contribute in sending me gifts. Yahuwah Barak you. I don't ask for those things, and some of you give it from your own heart, and I appreciate that. And may Abba Yahuwah Barak you as you have baraked me. BT, you're very welcome, Brian. So Bryant and BT, both of your questions are kind of similar. You said, what is the sequence of events prophesied to happen from now until the Mashiach returns? I'd like to study it in the Word. So maybe if Abba Yahuwah allows, we will get into this next week. For those of you who have seen this before, I've shared this before. Let me share it here. So here you see this timeline, okay? There are 8 sequences in the book of Revelation, all right? And this took me about 4 years to compile, studying the book of Revelation thoroughly. And this is when I was in Christianity, and it took me a minute to put this together. But what I want to share with you is where we're at right now. We are right here, the red horse, the second seal. Okay. Now, just so you understand, this you can find in the second sequence, which is in Revelation chapter 6, verse 1 to Revelation chapter 8, verse 5. And when you read this second sequence, it takes us all the way to the coming of the Messiah, okay, which is right here. This is when he reappears here on the earth, all right? The same thing in the third sequence. The Messiah returns at the blowing of the seventh trumpet. Down here we see in the fourth sequence, as we go over here, it would be here where the Messiah reappears as his second coming. And it'll be here in the fifth sequence where he's going to appear. And here in the seventh sequence, or sixth sequence, where he's going to appear. And that would be right here. This is the beginning of the millennial reign. So to study out this whole thing, what is next on the agenda? Well, the next thing that's on the agenda is that this red horse is going to become full potential. It's not at its full potential yet. But from this, we're going to have the black horse. This is where we're going to have food inflation, which you're seeing a lot of it right now, and it's only going to get worse. And I put here possible the mark is going to come out after this world war, because there is going to be a rationing of food, and you're going to have to get a mark to continue to function in society. But you see how I also, at this time, what we were talking about earlier in Daniel chapter 9, I have been influenced with Christendom here, and I put the 7-year peace treaty. So all of this I got to redo. This should just say 7-year treaty and not peace treaty, because everyone thinks that there's this peace treaty that's coming up, and so they're going to be looking for a peace treaty. There is no such thing as a 7-year peace treaty. There is a 7-year treaty, or as it says in the book of Daniel, he's going to make an agreement for 1 week or 1/7. Okay. And so if you go up here and you look here, yes, it also has JC. This is how you know when I did this back in the day. That's why I got to update a lot of this stuff here. So it's things that I have to also clarify in my brain from things that I have studied, but it doesn't change the sequence. The sequence is the sequence. They all connect. So what you see here, you see this dotted line, and this dotted line is to show as if what I'm taking here and I'm blowing it up to here. Okay, so now this is the blow up of this portion here. This would fit in this portion, and this down here, all of this all the way to here. So let me back that out so you can see. And from the first trumpet to the sixth trumpet fits right here. Okay. Now these solid lines are connecting the other sequences where they're all the same. So we're being told the same story a few times in each one of these sequences, but they all end here. They all come back together here in the seventh sequence, the battle at Armageddon. You'll see it here. Battle at Armageddon starts right there. Battle at Armageddon starts right here. Battle at Armageddon starts right here. Battle at Armageddon starts right here. Battle right there. Battle right there. So when you connect this, you start to understand. So you see here, okay, this is the first sequence. And I show you where this first sequence starts and where it ends. Okay. And again, we don't use this word. This would be 7 assemblies. Okay. It starts here from the day of Shabbat, the Greek word Pentecost. And it goes on until this approximately takes 2,000 years. The Assembly of Philadelphia, the 144,000, Revelation 3:10, they're the only ones that are taken. They're the only ones that are taken. Once they're taken, the Great Tribulation starts. This is why the Messiah says that they shall not be here when he tests the world and those who dwell upon the earth. Okay? Now, from this point, then the rest of us are raptured at the very end, immediately after the tribulation of those days, when the sun does not give us light and the moon turns to blood, or it looks red and the stars fall from the heavens. That's right here. And then we see the praises and the prayers of the saints, okay, and the Lamb who takes the scroll. This is all Revelation chapter 5. Okay, and then here, the next thing is the 7 bowls. This is the 5th sequence. So from this point, you can go directly down to the 5th sequence and pick up the story from Revelation chapter 15 to 16. And that starts right here. This is the wrath. So here you see the assembly is being taken up, okay, at the 7th trumpet, the last trumpet. The Great Tribulation is over. And now the 7 vial bowls of the wrath of Alua Elohim takes place. Those of us who are in the truth, we are raptured at this point. This is immediately after the tribulation of those days. We are not here for this. This is going to transpire in a 45-day period. Right after the 7th bowl is done, then we come down for the battle at Armageddon. That's the 7th sequence. So now we can go down to the 7th sequence and pick up that story. Here's the battle at Armageddon. We take them out, and then we set up the millennial reign with our Messiah. We rule and reign with him for 1,000 years. Immediately after the 1,000 years, there's the final rebellion, the war of Gog and Magog. This is when Satan is released, and he goes out to cause deception in the world once again. Once this is over, however long this is going to be, because we're not told, once that is done, then comes Judgment Day. This is the second resurrection. Revelation chapter 20, verse 11 to 15. Okay, and then after that, the 8th sequence kicks in, eternity. So we can go down to eternity here, the 8th sequence. This is when there's a new heaven, a new earth, and a new Jerusalem. So Judgment Day has just transpired, the second resurrection, and now we have the new heaven and new earth. This is eternity forever. This is now, we are in the eternal state. I know that's a lot of information there, but it would have to be something that we would have to study a few times, because it is a lot of information on this page. But this is literally the whole book of Revelation in a timeline form. This, if even better, let me see, who was it that asked me this here? Let me see, where is it? I just saw it here. Healthy Wellness Living. Is this my Cody Jasmine, Healthy Wellness Living? This is available on our website, where you can get a better copy than taking a screenshot. But yes, if you want to take a screenshot, let me bring it up here and allow you to take a screenshot of this. Okay. Yes, you see right there what Nazareth just put there, the link tree. You'll get a copy of this there. It'll be a lot easier for you to go there and get a better, clean view of all of this. And you can study this out. With what you know today and your understanding of the truth, this is going to make a lot of sense. All you have to do is just follow each sequence, and you're going to see how it starts over. John has shown so many different angles of the same event, because Yahuwah couldn't just give him all of it at one shot. So he shows him how the first sequence, how it all ends, and then the second sequence, how it all ends. They all, again, culminate to the very end, which is new heaven and new earth. So if you notice here, after each sequence, see, look at here. Let me show you. You see here after, and I'm showing you from each sequence the way that it would line up. So you have the first sequence here, and then you would go immediately to the fifth sequence. After the fifth sequence, you would go to the seventh sequence, and the seventh sequence will lead you to the eighth sequence. And that is the finishing of that timeline. The second sequence, here's the second sequence. We don't have the first sequence here because, again, this is a blow up of this part here. Now that's been expanded so you can see it here. So this is the second sequence. When the second sequence is over, the fifth sequence comes in, just like the fifth sequence up here. It's the fifth sequence, seventh sequence, seventh sequence, eighth sequence, eighth sequence. This is why you have these solid lines connecting it so you can see how it lines up with the next timeline. Third sequence, same thing. Here you have the first trumpet, second trumpet, all the way to the seventh trumpet. These are going at the same time. The second sequence and the third sequence, they're happening simultaneously together. Okay, as they're happening simultaneously together, then the same thing again. You see here the fifth sequence. Here you have the fifth sequence. Okay, the seventh sequence. Here you have the seventh sequence. Eighth sequence. You have the eighth sequence. Okay, and then you see the same thing here when you go to the fourth sequence. Here you have the fourth sequence going on, okay? And then you have the fifth sequence that follows the fourth sequence here. And then you have the seventh sequence that follows the fifth sequence. And then you have the eighth sequence, okay? And then when we go down here to the fifth sequence, here you have the ending of the third sequence right here. This is the ending of the third sequence, the seventh trumpet, because the seventh trumpet, which is here, the seventh trumpet right here. If you follow this line all the way down, it brings you here. Here's the seventh trumpet, which was the end of the third sequence. Now you're going into the fifth sequence. So you follow the fifth sequence all the way until you get here to the seventh sequence. And then the seventh sequence to the eighth sequence. And then you go down here to the sixth sequence. The sixth sequence comes after the sixth bowl. Here's the sixth bowl. You see this line here. Okay. Takes you over here. Starts right here. This is the beginning of the sixth sequence. Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed. And then once you get to the end of that, then the seventh sequence, and then the eighth sequence. And so then you get done with that one. With the, now you go to, let me see, where am I at here? Okay, so now we're at the sixth sequence. The sixth sequence, you see that? Babylon, oh no, wait, I just did that one. Seventh sequence. Here at the Battle of Armageddon. And then we have this seventh sequence that begins here, the millennial reign. When we finish the seventh sequence, we go directly to the eighth sequence. And then here's the eighth sequence. Okay. I know it's a lot of information there, but I'm telling you, if you study this out, you'll get a better understanding of the book of Revelation. You'll get a better understanding. All right. Well, all right, Mishpachah. Any other few little comments, and then we're going to call it a day. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. All praises to the Most High, Abba Yahuwah. I want to thank each and every last one of you for being here today and for coming here and learning and spending this time together with us on Shabbat during this time of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. My next time that I will be on on the very last day of the Feast of Unleavened, which will be on the pagan day, April 9th. I will be coming on at evening, and we will eat that last evening of the unleavened together, as we are told in Leviticus chapter 23 that we're to come together for a solemn assembly. I'm going to see if I can get some of my Akis and Akotis here in the Vegas area to come together so that we may break bread here at my house. to finish off this Feast of Unleavened. It's already on there, Cody Chanel. It's already on there. Yes. All right. Well, so let's do the barakah, the Aaronic barakah, and we're going to call it a day. And again, like I said, I will be back on the pagan day, April 9th at evening. So we can come together as we have been commanded to do so, to have a set apart gathering on the last day. And we'll do that here live so that we can partake of the food together. And it's going to be evening here on the West Coast. So we're talking about probably right around 6 o'clock before the sun goes down. Here right now, I think the sun is setting right around almost 7. All right. Yes, today is the Shabbat, Q, child of Yahuwah. Yes. No, the last day is not on the 10th. It's on the 8th. I mean, on the 9th, excuse me. 9th on the pagan calendar. So if you go back and you look at what it says here, remember, before we do the Aaronic barakah, let me show you guys this. Exodus chapter 12. Notice what it says here. Verse 18. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, in the evening, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month in the evening. So you finish it on the 21st day in the evening. Now, if you go and you look at our calendar, which I'm about to show you, here's the 21st day. You see it, the 21st day? Do you see the pagan day on there? 9th of April, not the 10th. 9th of April. Okay? You're very welcome. You're very welcome. All right? So again, this is why we study it out. This is why we share and we repeat these things, because again, we think we understand, but sometimes we don't. And so we need a reminder from the word, not what we can remember, but what the word says. What does the word say? Okay? So we're to eat it every evening, all right, until the 9th. So I'm going to be coming back on, like I said, on the 9th, which is going to be Pagan Day, TUHRS Day, all right? Okay. So let me bring this back over here. And let's do the Aaronic barakah, Numbers chapter 6. That's right, Miria. Yep, until the 26th, when we give the fruit of our lips, and we will also do that as well. So I'm going to be coming on those days so we can do it all together, so we can keep those days before Abba Yahuwah as a collective group before our Abba. We can't speak of anybody else and what they're doing, but what we're doing, we're going to do this before Abba Yahuwah, us as a collective, okay? And so the word reads here, the Aaronic barakah. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to Aaron and his sons, saying, this is how you barak the children of Yasharal. Say to them, Yahuwah barak you and guard you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and show favor to you. Yahuwah lift up his face upon you and give you shalom. Thus they shall put my name, that is Yahuwah, on the children of Yasharal, and I myself shall barak them. Hallelujah. Well, Mishpachah, we have come to another end of a Shabbat study. I hope you have been baruched. Let us remember what we spoke about today. Let us meditate on this unleavened manna that has been given to us by our Abba Yahuwah, that he is the one who teaches us and leads us and guides us into all truth. Remember the vows that some of you have made with me. before Abba Yahuwah. May we do what we have been given, and that we said that we are done with certain things in our lives. You all know what that is, that you have given up, that you know that is contrary to your walk before Abba Yahuwah. Stand strong, be firm, do not let go, but be about his business. Hallelujah, Yahuwah. All right, Mishpachah. My name is Brother Jimmy, also known as Ak Jimmy, and we are ambassadors of YAH.
The children of Yasharo, straight out of the book, the scriptures. Verses sharper than fishing hooks, snagging souls, taking tolls, leaving devils shook. Who we be? Messengers, truth bringers, that's the key. Unlocking minds, leaving darkness in debris. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors of YAH. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors of YAH. Spreading love from near to far. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors of YAH. Listen close, hear us, yeah. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors of YAH. Spreading love from near to far. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors of YAH. Listen close, hear us, yeah. Verses be thumping, shofars be blowing, beat be steady. Word power every hour, truth already. Blended deep secrets keep fools unsteady. We elevate till your fate be ready. No compromise. Open your eyes, see the light. Walk tall, stand strong with all your might. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors of YAH. Spreading love from near to far. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors of YAH. Listen close, hear us, yeah. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors of YAH. Spreading love from near to far. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors of YAH. Listen close, hear us, yeah. No compromise. Open your eyes, see the light. Walk tall, stand strong with all your might. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors of YAH. Spreading love from near to far. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors of YAH. Listen close, hear us, yeah. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors of YAH. Spreading love from near to far. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors of YAH. Listen close, hear us, yeah.
Hallelujah, Yahuwah. Yahuwah. Yada Yahuwah. Shalom, Mishpachah. Shabbat Shalom.